And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for viewing our wonderful show. Do you believe this is episode number 18? So we've done 18 together, Simon and I, and we love doing these. Now, what I'd love to do is to read you out what our mission is. So our mission, should we accept, of course, is to educate, engage our audience with lively discussions with experts to gain their experience, tips, benefits of the business and wellbeing practices that they can offer. On that, I'd like to introduce to you my famous co-star and host, Simon. Please tell the audience what you do.
Thanks, Tony. For those that don't know me, my name is Simon Bowden and I'm the owner of Simon Bowden Strategic Marketing and Coaching and also the Marketing Business Coach. I've been an international marketing business coach for 25 plus years. I'm also a master coach, which means that I've coached in excess of 10,000 hours. My aim is to look at each business I coach and identify what's working and what's not working. I eradicate what's not working and replace it with strategies that do work. I help business owners see the real potential in their businesses and themselves. As a result, I can double or even triple their income in 3 to 6 month period. I love what I do and I'm passionate about the people that I help. So that's me, Tony. Over to you, my friend.
Now, what I do, well, I help individuals and business owners via customized retreats, workshops and consultations to maximize their feelings of vibrance, purpose, happiness, health and success. And today we've got a special guest which I'd like to introduce to you, and that's Bobby Semple. Now, Bobby, say hello to the audience.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Tony. Hi, Simon. How you doing?
How you going, Bobby?
I'm amazing, mate. I'm doing amazing. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Looks like the sun's out where you are.
Still a bit chilly, though. Still a bit cold.
Fair enough.
So I'd love to read out Bobby's bio, if you permit me. Bobby's been in the recruitment business for over 15 years, and some of his clients include the Virgin Atlantic, Rolls-Royce, My Chemist Warehouse. He's also been a general manager of mobile dental clinics. He was also the 2021 finalist of the Aussie Small Business Champions Award. And now, what does Bobby do? He's the founder of the Simplified Recruitment of Mobile Recruitment Solutions. And he's been doing that since December 2019. Wow, Bobby, that's terrific. Tell us, I'm really curious, what do you mean by a mobile recruitment business?
So what we do is we work remotely. So when I started to build this business, it was actually through the pandemic last year and didn't really have a need to leave the house. So I built the business from the laptop and decided that, well, why do I need to be in one position or one place? Let's go and see this wonderful country. And so that's what I'm doing, is traveling around the whole of Australia and helping people find amazing team players for their businesses.
And what's triggered you to move into recruitment?
I love recruitment, 15 years experience in recruitment, and recruitment gives you access to so many great businesses and great business minds, and you can really support businesses find great people, and you can also find great staff for those people. And so you really change people's lives when you're a recruiter, because someone's looking for a job, it could be their dream job, and the client wants the dream candidate, and you combine those two and you're changing everyone's lives every day by doing that. You know, somebody might hate their job at the moment, or they see an opportunity to go into a new industry, and we can really change their lives and give them what they need and what they want. And that affects everybody. You know, the business owner gets a great employee. That might mean that they do less work in their business, so they can spend time with their family. And then bringing a new employee in, they get, you know, maybe more money or a better prospect in that company. So it really can be a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah. I wanted to say, firstly, Bobby, I'm very impressed with your resume. So congratulations on that. Firstly,
thank you.
think there's not too many people around that would have the credibility that you do.
Thanks, appreciate
that. That's okay. I suppose what I would like, can you share with us your background and perhaps how you got started in business?
Yeah, so I mean, I go back all the way to recruitment when I actually fell into recruitment. I was living in a place called Ibiza for 4 years. I was a DJ and working there. Came back to the UK and started to work as a temp for a recruitment agency. And they saw that I had a bit of passion and a bit of drive, so they then said, "Why don't you come and work for us, and we'll train you how to be a recruitment agent?" So I was like, "Okay, that sounds really good." Then I started to see the commission, and I started to see how much money you could earn within recruitment, which can be really good money. But once I started to get my feet under the table, I then realized that I loved processes and systems, and I knew that I could streamline a lot of the work that the agency was doing. And that's what I did. I started to tweak things in their system and processes. And I did this over the years for lots of businesses. I went in and created recruitment teams and processes for businesses who didn't have teams or anything within their business. And the more traction I got on that, the more that I enjoyed the processes and systems. And I could see the difference when I started that business in a business to when I left. Sometimes I went in, I was the only person in the recruitment team, and by the time I left, there were 5 people, and I'd grown those businesses that much. And the systems and processes were lots of automation, so it saved a lot of time for not only the business owner, but also for the recruitment consultants.
Yes. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Go, Tony.
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit about the actual environment at the moment. How easy is it to hire somebody at the moment?
Yeah, so it's really interesting times at the minute, and I think a lot of business owners didn't see this coming. They thought there would be lots of candidates available, and people are going to be picking up work because of last year. But what we've actually found in the market is so many people have left the country because they either lost their job, they couldn't afford to live here, they had family or friends to look after in another country. So all these people have left, and we don't have no new people coming in. So we've got no one coming in on student visas or tourist visas. I came over here on a visa as well with my partner, and we don't have any of that. So we have a real serious lack of candidates in the country, and even more worrying in the future, we don't have any graduates. If we've got no new students coming here to learn in universities, forget about online because it doesn't work. But if they're here, they would. 4 years of learning, they would normally build a community for themselves. They've got a partner, they get a job. So they end up staying in this country and become a graduate in this country. Well, we don't have any students coming in the country now. So in 4 years' time, there's going to be a lot of industries who rely on the graduates to come and push people forward in their business. We're not going to have them. I can talk about the fruit pickers. They would normally be people who come here on a 2-year visa, maybe as a tourist, and they would have to go and extend their visa by going to work on the fruit farm, but there's no one coming. So who do the fruit farmers have to hire to pick the fruit? They have to hire someone from Australia. Maybe they have to pay more money, which means then the fruit goes up in cost because the farmers get more costs. So there's all these things that happen because of the coronavirus, and they're going to be here for a long time. I know that Australia have struck a new deal with the UK to allow people to come over on visas. And that visa used to be 2 years, and now they've extended to 3 years with no farm work. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to affect the farmers, because they would rely on that work, those workers. We are going to see an influx of people at some point. So we need the government to really start to open the borders and allow people to come in, because there's a whole heap of industries that are really struggling. Hospitality, they're built around the students, and there's no students, so they're really struggling to find people. And so there's lots of these industries who thought they would be able to thrive and boom, and they can't, because they can open, but they don't have any staff because there's no one here to take the job.
I saw an instance on the news just recently, perhaps within the last month, that the fruit picking up in Queensland, they were trying to encourage the grey nomads with their caravans and whatnot to be going by and spending a few days helping them out with fruit picking, which I thought was quite good.
That's right. That's it. And it's they're just trying to they've got limited options, and they've had this process, and people come to them, in droves really in the past years, and now that it's totally cut off, so they've got to reimagine how they're going to do things, and that might mean that they've got to pay more money to get the Aussie to go and do that work, or else the fruit's not going to get picked, and that's going to be a disaster for everyone.
The next question I'd like to ask you is about your life. You've had a very inspiring situation where you came from adversity and was able to sort of overcome that. Would you like to tell us how you started your new business?
Yes, certainly. So, I've got a lot of experience in recruitment and recruited for some large companies around the world. And when I came to Australia, I came with my wife, and my experience was always recruitment, and that's what all my life was. And then she started a business called Mobile Dental Clinics Australia. I joined that business within a year into that business, just because of my background in processes and systems, and I'd worked in some of the best HR departments in the world, and taking in lots of information without even knowing it. So I started to write a load of system processes for the business, and we grew that business from 2 people to 70 people in about 2 years. And we went from about $70,000 turnover year 1 to 4.5 million year 2. And
Wow.
yes, it was absolutely crazy. And really, that's where mobile simplified recruitment solutions came from, is the struggle that I found as a business owner, working in a business, trying to manage the business and trying to grow the business at the same time was really hard. And then trying to hire over 70 people at the same time, I just couldn't do it. So I reached out to some recruitment agencies who I'd worked for, and they were going to help me out and recruit for some people from some of the staff, but it was really expensive, and I didn't really want that kind of process. I just needed someone to help me out. I didn't want someone to go out there and find people for me. So I then went away and created that business. I had the idea in my head, and that was around in about October 2019. Unfortunately, the relationship with my wife was going the wrong way and didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, and so I decided to separate from my wife and move on to other things. And that was in October 2019. And then, unfortunately, in February 2020, she committed suicide. And really, then from that point onwards, my life was really flipped upside down. I'd lost not only my friend and somebody who I loved, that I ended up losing the business. And the business, the way the business was structured, meant that it wouldn't come to me. I lost the house that I'd paid into and lived in with her. I ended up living in a garage in Mount Eliza. That's the only thing that I could afford. And really, I was down and out. The only thing that I had was the vision of a new business. And lockdown was really difficult, when you're stuck with all of that going on in your head, and you can't go anywhere or see anyone, and you're stuck in a garage. And literally, that's what it was. It's pretty confronting, and you've only got a couple of ways to go. You're either gonna drown in it all, or you're gonna fight and survive. And I had to fight and survive, because I knew that I had so much to give to people, and I'd pick myself up many a time every morning to go and network online and talk to people about my business model and see if it would work. And every morning that would be a struggle. I had to fight the demons in my head, all the negativity that was in my head about everything that had happened over the past year. And it was really hard, but I knew that I had some really good people around me, and they were coaching me online to say, when you come online, you've got to be happy and presentable, and because people don't want to do business with people who are sad and down. And even though that was inside me and it was really hard, I still had to present with a smile on my face, and really that really helped by having a goal. And even though the goal is a very, very small goal at this point, it's very far away, and that I knew that if I did those tiny little steps, like I would get up and do a networking event and then go back to bed and cry my eyes out and put the duvet over my head, and that would be my day. And the next day I'd get up and go and write a recruitment process and just do 2 or 3 steps of it, and then back to bed. You know, I was depressed, I was down, I couldn't even go and get a job because of coronavirus. So I was getting paid, you know, from Centrelink, and I had nothing. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I just kept pushing through. And I knew I had this really wonderful business model idea, and every person I spoke to said, you know, really needed, and it's going to be a great thing for you once we get outside of this year in 2020. And it was a long year. You know, lots of other things happened within that year. You know, I'm dealing with lawyers and trying to deal with my family in the UK, my mum and dad. You know, they want to come over and help me because of everything that's happened, but they can't because of coronavirus. So I'm really isolated. I lost all of my network because of the connection with my family, with my wife, and lost everything, literally. But out of negativity, there's always something positive if you look for it, and that positivity is very small, like a very, very tiny light, and you can, you know, it's very hard to follow that light sometimes, but it's definitely there, and you can go through a lot in your life, and you control it. That's the biggest thing. You know, you've still got to acknowledge the emotions and everything that's going on, and you have to take that on board. But you've also got to remember that there is a light, and there is something good, and you just got to follow that and keep on at that. But allow yourself to, you know, take control of the situation. And you know, the brain is so powerful; it can be powerful for good and evil. And sometimes you've got to let the evil stuff happen, and you just got to let it wash over you, and tell yourself that tomorrow is another day. The sun is going to shine. The issue that you had today, or whatever I'm thinking about today, is going to be small tomorrow. And you just got to keep moving forward. And the last thing you want to be able to do is just sit there and let it overtake you totally without having something that you can drive you forward and look at that light.
I'd like to acknowledge your openness to tell us about this, but also I'd like to acknowledge your resilience, how you've got through it. Can you tell us if there was any significant coach or mentor that gave you that determination and resilience to be able to withstand with what you'd gone through? Because a lot of people wouldn't have made it, and you did.
Yeah, I had connected with a coach. I joined BNI Networking at the time, and there was a business coach in there, and she really helped me out through a lot of the hard choices that I had to make. And one of those choices was, you know, do I go and find a job, or do I continue with this vision of this business, which didn't even have any clients? I didn't even have a domain or anything. So like, it was a real vision. And so she really helped set my mind and focus on the positive, on the skills I had, and the ability to do things. Because if I look back on the history of work that I'd done, I'd gone into a lot of places where it was very depressing and very negative, and helped turn that business around without even knowing it. So I look back on my career and took strength from, I've done it before. And yes, I haven't been in this situation before, but I knew that I could dig down deep. And with the right people telling me, hey, this is the right journey. Hey, this is good. This is what you've got to do. Help me really stick on that path.
I suppose you were very, very lucky there, Bobby, to have someone that you could reach out to, because I know for a fact that many people don't know who to reach out to. And as a result, they tend to put their head in the sand and hope that it just goes away. But as you said, it doesn't go away. So it's vitally important that that you do reach out and talk. So well done on that. And
thank you. I appreciate it.
And as Tony said, you know, the resilience that you've shown is remarkable, and I take my hat off to you, my friend.
I tell you, I kind of got a bit addicted to TikTok over last year, and there was a lady on there who had gone through something similar to me, and she'd, you know, if anything, she'd lost a lot more, and she turned around and said that one night she was lying in bed, she was thinking, I'm not going to get up tomorrow, that's it, this is the end of it for me. And we watched a documentary about rockets going into space, and all of a sudden she had a light bulb moment. She went, do you know what, tomorrow morning I'm going to be that rocket. I'm going to get out of bed like that rocket, and I'm going to blast myself into my business, and I'm going to fix it. So I thought, I'm going to do that, like, because the alarm goes off, you don't want to get up, but I'm now that rocket. So I did exactly that. I jumped up like a rocket out of my bed, and before my brain could even think about it, I was already on the laptop. I was doing something, and my brain couldn't go, hey, you've got to go in bed. You've got to, you've got to go and think about this. You've got to think about all the bad stuff happens, because that's where you're safe. And this isn't safe. You've got nothing here. Why are you doing this? But I didn't give it a chance to talk to me. I was like, nah, I'm not listening. I have got a purpose in my life. I'm meant to be here for a reason. And I honestly believe this business is that reason. And that really just puts a rocket right up your ass. And you just go out there and, you control that power. We're amazing. We are amazing things. And we can do whatever we want. If you can think about it, you can do it. It's hard. It's hard, but you can do it.
Yeah. I'd have to say there, Bobby, though, that there's one person that got in before you, unfortunately. His name is Elton John. To call yourself a man.
That's a different type of rocket, I think.
Different.
It just shows you what passion and inspiration can do. Like, you can pull yourself out of that now. As long as you feel that the passion within your heart, this is what I'm supposed to do, and you found that, which is good. That was what saved you.
Yeah, definitely. That having something that I can go and look at every day, and I can go online. And at that time, it was all online networking and speak to people about the business. It meant that for at least 8 hours of the day, the only thing I was talking about was the business. And then for the rest of the day, I had to deal with my emotions and the thoughts. But it meant that it wasn't 24 hours a day. So it really did. It helped me through those hard times. And even today, it's not like it's all sweet dreams and everything's rosy. I still look at the business and go, this is what distracts me from the bad side of things.
Yeah. If I was I'm going to put my marketing hat on here, Bobby, and throw you a question that I want you to answer in 50 words or less. Why would a business owner reach out to you to help them rather than doing it themselves?
So to complete our recruitment process will take somebody about 30 hours to complete. And so what we do is we take away 25 of those hours from the hiring manager or the business owner. So they can go and do whatever they want in their business. They can go and do sales, they can go and deal with their team, or they can go and spend time with their family if they wanted to. And we do all of the legwork of the recruitment. So it really just gives them a lot of time back in their day for a low flat fee.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that. Tony, over to you.
Okay. Tell us a good story about your journey around Australia. A lot of our viewers would love to hear about that.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a ride. So once I started to build this business and it was all online, I decided, I can be anywhere in the world if I wanted to, and that was the whole point of it. And so once we started to come out of lockdown in Melbourne, I was looking at trying to find somewhere else to live rather than the garage, because it wasn't the best place to live. But it served its purpose. It served its purpose. It gave me great experience to be able to get in the business. And so when I was trying to find somewhere to live, I was like, I don't need to be anywhere. Why can't I just go and stay in Airbnbs and places like that? And that's what I did. So I left Melbourne on the 9th of April, and then we went to a place called Ulladulla, which is about 9 hours drive north of Melbourne towards Sydney. Stayed there for 4 weeks, and then I went from Ulladulla to Anna Bay, which is just not far from Sydney. And then from there, we then went to Hawke's Nest, is where we're at the moment. And it's just great to see this wonderful country. It's beautiful. There's so many beautiful things. And once you get out into the wilderness and then into nature, inspiration just hits you in the face. And also, there's so much opportunity. If you go and just drive around this country, you'll see little businesses. They all need help. And that's what I'm here to do, is to try and help these businesses find amazing staff.
Now, every business owner has a funny story. And I can imagine with your number of years in recruitment, you must have some extremely funny stories to share. Can you share one with us?
A really interesting one that happened was I was working for a recruitment agency, and I was recruiting for some customer service staff. And I found this great candidate, saw the resume and spoke to her on the phone and arranged a face-to-face interview with me in the office. And so she comes in and she's wearing what I can only suggest as like what you'd wear as strippers. like a long, like quite a showing dress, and I was kind of like, it's probably not the right clothes to wear. And she was a female bodybuilder. She had a really big body, and she was huge. And I was like, I had to tell this person that you can't wear things like that. And she turned around to me and laughed. And I was like, what's so funny? She went, oh, I need to show you something. So she showed me a video, and she was actually played in the women's version of American football. So I have to tell this woman that she shouldn't be wearing this, and she could easily just smash my head. I'd be gone. And so I coached her through this interview, and we had to then do a face-to-face interview with the client. And I was actually at that group interview, and I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, please don't turn up in that dress. And she came, and she wore this beautiful suit, and she was just absolutely gorgeous. And she got the job as well. But just be a very brave man to turn around to that lady and say, hey, you shouldn't be wearing something like that.
I'm just looking at the time. It's getting close to the top of the hour. So, Bobby, if there was one thing that you'd like to tell the audience, what would it be?
If you're a business owner and you're struggling, or you're looking to grow, or you're scared of growing, the best thing you can do is bring more people into your business to allow them to take away the mundane duties that you don't need to do. That could be recruitment, hiring someone like me. It could be outsourcing your bookkeeping. It could be outsourcing, your marketing, or whatever it is. You don't have to do everything yourself. And if you want to grow your business, then you need to be able to trust people. And at the end of the day, there's plenty of people out there. So if the person A doesn't work, there can always be person B. But if you don't allow people to come and help you, then you're never going to do anything that you want to do in your life. And yes, we all want to have successful businesses, and we all want to live the dream life. And you can do that in your own business. Make your own rules. And I struggle with this myself sometimes, but you can make your own rules. So why not? It might mean that you cut down on the profit a little bit, but if it gives you more time to go and spend with your family, then go and do that. Life is way too short. You've listened to the story that I just told to you. That can happen to any of us. We could cross the road and anything can happen. So life is too short. Have more time. Go and spend time with the family. Outsource some of your work so you don't kill yourself trying to do it all yourself.
Very well said, Bobby, and I think that's that stands very proud for what you're about. So great, well done.
Thank you.
Now, what I'd like to do is say, what was my main takeaway from today? And my main takeaway was your magnificent story about, it's all about finding your real purpose and your passion in your heart. Because once you find that, there's nothing that can stop you. And even in the worst challenges, and you were in that situation, you were able to pick yourself up because you followed your heart, you followed your dream, and you was able to do it. And, you found people that can help you. You found a really good coach. You don't have to do it all alone. It's finding the people that can help you go forward. And I'd like to acknowledge you for doing that. And I reckon that was a wonderful story that you've given a lot of hope to all our viewers, because a lot of people will be in similar or even worse situations like you. And they know that somebody has actually got out of that situation. So well done, Bobby. Love having you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
And Simon, what was your main takeaway?
Well, my main takeaway is I think that woman, that big woman, the bodybuilder. I think I've met her a couple of times before in a dark alley. But no, Bobby, I think your story has resonated with me very strongly. And I think the fact that you were able to reach out at the time to people around you, I think is absolutely gold. And I think for our viewers today, to even if they only take 5% of what you said today, I'd love it to be that 5% of being able to have the ability to reach out and not put your head in the sand. I think that's important, and especially we're still going through this pandemic, and this pandemic is going to continue as well. So times are tough, and we just need to be on the lookout for people around us to support us and at the same time. So well done.
Thank you, and I think it's important for the viewers to understand that life can be bad, and but nothing is worth the loss of losing someone like that, and you know, it only affects everyone else who is here, and you know, their family and friends. All these people are heartbroken, and at the end of the day, 99.9% of things can be fixed within time, but you've got to open your mouth and go and speak to people and who can help you. So that's what I'd like to say.
Absolutely.
Very profound words. Now,
Thank you.
viewers, if you want to contact Bobby, I'm just going to flash up how you can contact Bobby. So he's got his website and his phone number there, and I know you can get in via LinkedIn. And on that note, I'm going to ask Simon to close our show for us.
That's all right. Thanks, Tony. Well, for our next Let's Chat is actually next Friday, the 2nd of July. And we're very privileged to have the absolute awesome Mr. Tim Beanland on our show. So Tim's a very savvy entrepreneur and runs his own business called Bean Talking, with the aim of getting people talking about you. He's a podcaster and creates amazing videos for those wanting up to 3 months worth of video content, all shot within a 45-minute video time slot, which is amazing. Tim's going to share with us his incredible story of what happened to him personally and his business as a result of COVID-19. So I'll just let our audience know that please, you won't want to miss this one. It is an amazing story. So thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed our session today. And thank you to Bobby again. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
So before we go, where are you? Where are you at actually right at the moment?
In Hawk's Nest in New South Wales right now.
Okay. All right. Well, you're missing this rain. We've got rain here in Melbourne today. So,
being English, I love the rain. So,
come in anytime you like.
Look, hats off to you, Bobby. I really appreciate you sharing the story with us today, and I look forward to meeting you in person when you're in Melbourne next time. So please reach out because I'd love to shout you a coffee.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Bobby,
for
coming.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Oops.
It looks like we're still live. Can you still hear me, Bobby? Yeah. Tony's going to have to fix that. Anyway.